This is week 3 of Hebrew Introduction, just building on some foundations. You can go back and see my videos for week 1 and 2. On this lesson, we talk about the Shewa, the Dagesh forte, the direct object marker, Makif, open and closed syllables, very briefly. So the Shewa, it's kind of not really a vowel. Some materials will call it a vowel or a special vowel. Other materials will call it a syllable divider. Most of the time, it is a syllable divider, and that's just generally its job, but not always. So I think it's just better just to say it's a special rule. So here we have what's called a vocal or moving Shewa. I prefer vocal versus silent. And so we can see the example that they're providing here with be. So it'll be a be, beya, beyado. Without the Shewa, then we would just have beyado. So here we're getting a vocal Shewa, be. In the silent Shewa, it's just simply red. So redna. I'm not pronouncing anything. There's no redna, just redna. Down below, you'll see another word as an example here, yishmeru. And the first Shewa, because we see here we have two Shewas together. The first Shewa underneath the sheen here is going to be silent. The second Shewa is going to be vocal. So we have yishmeru. So that's the meh, yishmeru. Obviously, when we say it really fast, you don't necessarily, you pick up a little bit, but you need to pronounce it. So it's just a meh. And that's what the vocal Shewa does. Now, there are other indications. So your Bible, the very first word in your Bible in Genesis 1:1 is the bait, with the bait, Bereshit. That begins with a Shewa. It's opening the syllable. That Shewa also tells me that Bereshit was not a definite article, meaning it's not the beginning. So this tells me here it was indefinite. We'll do more on that in another video. Some of the rules of the Shewa, which I explained a little bit, but to go further, is whether the vocal Shewa, whether it's simple or compound, will always stand beneath a consonant that opens a syllable. A compound Shewa means that the Shewa will be noted with another vowel, like the kamatz or the sere or something like that. So again, that's where we see it mostly operating as a syllable divider. When two Shewas are adjacent, which I just showed you in the word yishmeru, that first one will always be silent, the second vocal. The Shewa stands under a Dagesh forte, which means it's a doubling of a consonant. We'll see that in a moment. And it will always be vocal because there's a doubling of the consonant, meaning, so you can see the example here that I have from you, mamika. So mi, mika. That second Shewa is vocal because there are two consonants there. One is closing the syllable, one is opening the syllable because the consonant is doubled. So the unique use as well is that it can be used inside of a final form of the Kaf, and this helps distinguish it from other forms as well as from the Dalet, which looks very similar, and except that the Kaf does have a longer tail on it, but it helps to see the distinguishing in a visible way. So the Dagesh forte, as I explained, the Dagesh forte doubles the consonant of a letter. So we can see that in this example here with the mem. Here is one mem versus two mems because I have a Dagesh forte. Whenever it's not doubling the consonant, it's simply a Dagesh linne and could just simply be a stronger pronunciation of the letter, which we talk about here in the Beged Kefet. So if I have a Dagesh in the bait, which you saw on the previous slide, it would be a b sound, b. If I do not have a Dagesh linne, then it's a v sound. So again, all of these rules are coming and playing together. So that's what these rules are with the dot. or its a formal name, Dagesh, in any other letter other than the Bega Kefit or in what we call the final Hey is a Dagesh forte, and it will indicate that there is a doubling of that consonant. In a Dagesh Linne situation with the Beit, the Gimel, the Dalet, the Kaf, and the Pei, it will distinguish the pronunciation of that singular consonant. A dot in a Bega Kefit letter will be a Dagesh Linne whenever that letter is not immediately preceded by a vowel. And again, this is with exception to the simple silent Shewa. And this is what we call a weak Dagesh. A dot in the Bega Kefit letter will be a Dagesh forte whenever that letter is immediately preceded by a vowel, and that will be called a strong Dagesh. And we actually saw that form in the previous slide here. Okay, the definite article and the Makif. So I put these together because they tend to be seen together in the Bible. And so that dash that you notice if you've ever read any Hebrew or you're looking at a linear Bible, interlinear, then you will see this and probably just didn't know necessarily what it meant. So the object, the Makif itself, is putting the words in relationship to each other. And it's called the Hebrew hyphen, but we will see here in the examples son and Adam, reading from right to left because that is how Hebrew is read. We have Ben, that is one word meaning son, and we have Adam, that is one word meaning human. It can also mean man. So, but when I put the Makif in between these words, we notice that the vowel, the sere, will change into a sagol. It's a shortening of the vowel, which brings stress to Adam and away from son. So we get son of Adam with this Makif. Likewise, the word kol, which we see here, but we see two different spellings, if you will, one with the hirik and one with the kamats. So again, we have a change in the vowel structure. So it's all of the people, because I've got kol, which means all. I have which means people or nation. And so it becomes all of the people. So, and again, that holam becomes the kamat sataf. I think I said hirik, but I meant holam. Now, with this, the definite article. So this is an indication, this pattern, the hey, the batak, and the dagesh here is a pattern in Hebrew to show you that this is a definite article, meaning if I have horse, sus, it's a horse. If I have hasus, that is the horse. So it's a specific horse. Up in the top right hand, we can see a boy, or we might have the boy. So the definite article is giving you indication to something very specific. Again, hasus, habin. So we're seeing both now, the ha and the dagesh. Here, it's a very strong definite article. It will not always be like this. So I try to let people know that while this is a pattern, I could just as easily see this definite article with a kamatz under it and no dagesh. If this bait were an aleph is a guttural, cannot take a dagesh. And because the dagesh is missing, that patak would have a compensatory lengthening to a kamatz, to the longer a. So we see that there are rules that get mixed like that. So it's important to understand most of these rules are not always. Most of the time, not always. Open and closed syllable. The number of syllables is equal to the number of full vowels. So meaning there's no shava with it. A syllable is a consonant vowel consonant or a consonant vowel. Closed syllable, consonant vowel consonant, and that is how the word is pronounced. So consonant followed by a vowel. If it's an open syllable, it will not end with a consonant. So again, these are the references that I'm using to put these materials together. As you can tell, the rules become more complex as you learn more and more Hebrew. Hope this helps.